Good morning from Fast Company. Here's our daily look into what's driving today's creative business leaders. Corporations say they prioritize people. So why do so few chief people officers become CEOs? By Stephanie Mehta. Leaders juggle a lot of demands and priorities. However, most CEOs tell me they're highly attentive to company culture, change management, and workforce transformation in the age of AI, all areas that their Chief Human Resources Officers, or CHROs, or Chief People Officers, CPOs, are tracking too, notes Jennifer Wilson, co-head of the Global Human Resources Officer practice at leadership advisory firm Heidrick & Struggles. The only other seat besides CEO that has a cross-enterprise view is the Chief Human Resources Officer, Wilson says. The best CHROs these days are weighing in and shaping strategy around big corporate issues. Yet CHROs are rarely tapped for the CEO role. Heidrick & Struggles data shows that only 16 CEOs at America's 1,000 largest companies by revenue have previous HR experience. An overlooked role. Most of those executives worked in HR as part of their climb up the corporate ladder. General Motors CEO Mary Barra, for example, was a vice president of global human resources at GM for 2 years between roles as a vice president of global manufacturing engineering and a promotion to senior vice president of global product development. Joanna Garrity, CEO of JetBlue Airways, was the CPO of the airline for 4 years after serving as associate general counsel and before moving to an executive vice president role overseeing customer experience. More unusual is the case of Lena Nair, who was the CHRO of Unilever when Chanel, the privately held luxury brand, recruited her to be its global CEO. At a time when chief financial officers, chief technology officers, and even lawyers are moving to the CEO role, Tammy Rosen, chief development officer and a board member of Pagaya, an AI-powered fintech, and former CPO at Atlassian, says overlooking HR executives is a miss. For too long, CHRO and CPO roles have been miscast as operational or administrative when in reality they are the only seats with a true 360-degree view of the company, driving strategy, mission, culture, risk, performance, and people, she says. The CEO's support system. Megan Myungwon Lee was CHRO and Vice President of Corporate Planning and Strategic Initiatives when she was promoted to Chairwoman and CEO of Panasonic North America in 2021. Lee says Osaka, Japan-based Panasonic, has a history of viewing HR, finance, and strategy as a three-legged stool supporting the CEO. In Japan, if you hire a person, it's a $3 million investment because people usually retire with the company, she notes. It's not a variable cost. Lee says her experiences in HR, Panasonic initially hired her as a bilingual secretary, exposed her directly and indirectly to all aspects of the company. It has also shaped her leadership style. Being a leader is like being a parent in that you lead with empathy, guiding, setting boundaries, and making tough decisions, while always asking, how would I want someone to treat my own children in this situation? Boards of directors may disregard CHROs in their CEO succession planning for any number of reasons. Some want their chief executive to have client-facing experience. A tech company may prioritize a leader with an engineering background. But Pagaya's Rosen says boards ignore HR talent at their peril. More CHROs and CPOs should be elevated to CEO because theirs is the most well-rounded role in the company, connected to the business, the strategy, the culture, and every team, she says. Does your team elevate HR pros to the top? Does your company have a CPO or CHRO who is a candidate to succeed the CEO? If so, what are the reasons why your company may elevate them? I'd like to hear your stories. Send them in an email to stephaniemehta@mansueto.com. Stephanie Mehta is Chief Executive Officer and Chief Content Officer of Mansueto Ventures, publisher of Inc. and Fast Company. She previously served as editor-in-chief of Fast Company, where she oversaw digital, print, and live journalism. That's all today from Fast Company. Talk to you tomorrow.
SpokenLayer.